Hello Brands Academy, welcome back to our channels. Today's lesson I'd like us to discuss about content in grade 4, touching on the creative art part. And the area that I want us to focus on is this area of improvising a ball, or rather than making a ball using MACRAME technique. Making a ball using MACRAME technique, and it's an area that has been tested in the ongoing project part. So remember, this is an area that if you had already covered it during the lesson time as the part of the practical, there's no need of you again repeating it, because if the learners had created and you had stored their improvised or ball which they had made using the MACRAME technique, you will just go back there and award the marks according to how the balls were made. So it's very good that during our lessons, we don't wait for this project to come so that we start rushing. It's good that we deal with them during lesson time, as it has been outlined in the scheme of work and the curriculum design. Because remember, the project that the KNEC will just bring, it's what the learner have been doing in class. So let's make sure as teachers who are teaching creative art and sport, we make sure that we engage learners in this practical part of the creative art, so that it will make our work easy. Now, let's go back to our aim of today's lesson, and we are talking about MACRAME technique in grade 4. So it's good that the learner start by knowing what MACRAME is all about. And we find that MACRAME technique is a method of creating decorative or useful items by tying different kind of knots using cords, strings, or yarn instead of sewing or weaving. So that's a simple definition of the term MACRAME technique. And you will find that now when it comes to theory part, but the learner might be asked to identify some of the common knots in MACRAME. And one of the knots that we'll be using in our practical today is the overhand knot, because that's what we are teaching them at their level, overhand knot. Then we have also other knots like half knot, we have square knot, we have lark's head knot, and spiral knot. I'll spare some time for one session. We discuss about these common knots in MACRAME. But for today, let us discuss on the overhand knot. Now, after that, it's good also these learners to understand some of the items made using this technique called MACRAME. Items made using MACRAME technique. We'll start by what we'll be making during the project time, that is improvised ball. We have wall hangings, we have planned hangers, bags, bracelets. Remember last year they were told to make bracelets using the same technique, but today this year they have decided to bring ball. So it's maybe next year it will be wall hanging or key holder. So those are some of the items that the learner can make using MACRAME technique. Then you find that this overhead knot is done as shown below. As you are checking on my screen there, I have displayed the three images showing how the MACRAME technique is done. You follow that one, then you will be ready to go on making the ball using the MACRAME technique, more importantly, the overhand knot. So, after that, let's talk about some of the materials and tools the learner will be collecting before embarking on the project. And some of the materials we have old papers, we have clothes. Remember there are one which are used. We have sponge, socks, newspapers. We have thread. They can also source ropes, banana fibers. We have grass, old carrier bags, and polythene papers, and lastly scissors. So those are some of the materials and tools learners can assemble before embarking on making a ball using macrame technique. There's something very important to note is that do not cut any fabric or papers without permission from your parent, guardian, or teacher. So let learner be aware that when they go home to source for these materials, they should not take materials without permission from their guardians or parents, in that it can bring that confusion between the learners, the teacher, and the parents at home. They might take something which is still in use at home. So let's make sure that we instruct them before they come with any material. They have permission from the parent or the guardian. After that, let's now embark on some of the areas that the learner will be following in making a ball using macrame technique. And one of the area is steps to follow or procedures. So the first procedure the learner is supposed to follow is to crumble old papers, sponges, old carrier bags, or old clothes into the shape of a ball. So the material that they have, they are going to put them together, then they crumble them to be in a shape of a ball that is circle. The ball is in a shape of a circle. So that's what they should do in the first step. As you can see on my video, I have displayed that process or that step. Step number 2, the learner required to cover the crumpled papers with a cloth or a carrier bag. So after that, they put them now in one carrier bag or a cloth that now it will now be easy to make. As you can see on the video there, that process I have also displayed it there. Then step 3, they are going to tie the ball with a string, rope, or a strip of banana fiber. So you can see it's done. That's very easy. Then step number 4, they are going to tie the ball as shown. So after tying the ball with a string, rope, or a strip of banana fiber, they are now going to tie the ball as shown on the screen. Then they are going to use the overhand knot to tie the threads. Remember, I had shown you how to make an overhand knot. So they are going to use that technique there. Then the last step, they are going to tie all other threads using the overhand knot. So those are the 6 procedures or steps the learner are going to take in order to make a ball using macrame technique, more so the overhand knot technique. So they follow those steps, they are ready to go, and the marks will be awarded accordingly or according to what the learner has made. So that's the end of that session. And let me take this opportunity to thank those who are joining us, those who are subscribing. Please subscribe, comment, share. If the lesson is good, if you have learned something, it's good to give back by a comment, so that also I know I'm impacting, I'm also trying to help also. So thank you, and may God bless you. Let's meet in another session for another class.